Let's get a little weird. Let's get a little odd. Those sounds you like to hear. We got it going on. It's the ODDCAST. It's the ODDCAST. It's the ODDCAST. It's the ODDCAST.
Hey! How the heck is everyone doing? Welcome back to the ODDCAST, where we talk about people turning passion into paychecks, passion into profession. I'm here with Josh Stafford today, the founder of Pick Pocket Manufacturing. He's a pro skateboarder and a professional clothing designer. His stuff is awesome. I'm wearing it right now, both on my torso and on my head. Josh, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Stoked to be here. Gonna double back real quick to the pro skateboarder thing. Not quite a pro skateboarder, but do skateboard quite a bit.
I can redo that.
No, it's totally fine. I don't mind at all, but I mean, just quick clarification. But yes.
He's a great skateboarder, at the very least. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers,
So,
G.
beer of the day, we are drinking on Stone. I believe he has it Stone Delicious. I have a Stone, this is the Hop Revolver IPA. Stone in San Diego is a phenomenal brewery. They basically started kind of the West Coast IPA whole movement, and we really appreciate them. And I have a great Pickpocket koozie on my beer, so
Bam. Camo everything, always.
Exactly. So I guess the first thing I would want to ask you, would be what, so you've been skateboarding fairly seriously since high school, or before that, but from
Roughly.
karate to skateboarding. What was the original inception of Pickpocket?
At the time, I was sponsored by Santa Cruz Skateboards, and then continued on to get sponsored by OJ Wheels and Independent Trucks, all under the same distribution. Went up there and just came back, filled up my car with shit, just like raided the warehouse, just got like way more shit than I actually needed. So when I got home, like living in a super small 2-bedroom apartment with my homie at the time, just like 3-bedroom apartment actually. This was when different spot, but yeah, just came back and did not have nearly enough room for all the shit in my closet, and went through getting rid of stuff to donate to Goodwill or whatever. Still couldn't get rid of enough shit, and
Wow.
And I had like a bunch of shit that I wasn't gonna ever wear again,
Yeah.
But I still wanted to keep it for whatever reason, like whether
almost
the
a
graphic
memory.
was sick. Yeah, did a fucking this or that, the other in it. Drank my first beer in it. I don't know, whatever. But like, there was enough of those shirts that I didn't want to get rid of that I never wore, whether they were too small, dirty, fucked up, whatever.
Yeah.
And I had like seen some people doing shit with old clothes online and stuff, and I was like, oh fuck, try to make some pocket tees out of this or something. And so I just chopped a bunch up, because actually my grandma had made me a quilt out of old shirts when I was way younger, and I was originally like, oh, I'm gonna keep these and just she'll make me another one or whatever, and I was holding on to them for a little bit, and then I was like, oh shit, let me try to do something with some of these myself before I give them to her. Went and got decided I was to make a pocket tee or two out of them somehow. So I went to Target knowing absolutely nothing.
Diddly squat.
Didn't know shit about sewing. Went to Target and just bought like a $5-10 sewing kit from Target, like plastic case, like
a travel sewing kit almost.
Yeah, straight up, just like white and black thread and like some needles and whatever.
Wow.
That was it. Like really cheap, probably not even $5, but didn't have an iron, because never ironed my clothes, really never wore anything that needed ironing. So I just like cut out the pocket in the design that I thought you would do it in, which took me months or a year or two to figure out what even the right way was before I even got there. But cut them out and just started folding them into like what I thought a pocket shape was. Super uneven, like kind of just like held them flat until like the creases like.
So your ironing is holding flat.
Yeah. No, I didn't. With my lukewarm hand, just like holding it flat until it got flat enough, and then I would like try to pin it down, and I just sewed it by hand. Super sketchy. Like, I remember I washed it. I made two. and I washed them each, and kind of held up, like definitely got scrunched up together and like looked really weird afterwards, but I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna run it anyway. And some of my homies were actually like, damn, that looks pretty sick. And like I went up to Orange County to skate the Vans combi pool and meet one of my now roommates, Sam Beckett, up there.
Shout out to Sam
Beckett, what's up, G? And he's like, oh, what's up, Josh? And just went and like put his fingers in the pocket and just like pulled back. And I was like,
shut the fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He ripped it?
Yeah. He like ripped the top part of it a little bit. And he's like, oh shit. He claimed he didn't know that it was like legit, or that it wasn't legit, I guess. And I was just like, oh fuck, that sucks. And I never fixed that one. I still have the first two ones I made, and like.
So the prototypes are in existence.
Yeah. I still have them hanging up in my closet, I think.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Don't wear them because I don't think they'll make them through too many more washes. But
and
then like a couple of my friends just like were asking about them, and I was like, oh fuck it, like I'll make something for you, like whatever, and just did it like here and there for like extra beer money. I think I made one by hand for my buddy Tim. And then after that, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get a sewing machine. I'm just going to get a cheap sewing machine. So I went to Target, I think, and just got like a $100 sewing machine Singer.
Really?
Oh, word of advice, go to your local sewing machine shop if you want to get a sewing machine. Don't get a new cheap one. No, don't get them. They're like made out of plastic, different parts than what you'd get from like your local sewing machine shop or something. Like most places are like sewing and vacuum machines. Like that's what the shops are. Those are the ones you look for, and they're a G.
They're always like an OG in there,
dude. And they'll help you out. Like they know what they're talking about. You're not going to ask somebody at Target that doesn't know what they're talking about, you know.
That's a really good point. Wow. I mean, yeah, I went to Best Buy today and got effed over by buying a camera from them. They didn't sell me the charging cord.
Yeah.
So like I'd rather go to my local videography shop.
Yeah.
I mean the equivalent.
And they'll take care of you too. They'll be like, "Oh shit, you didn't get that? Okay, cool. Here's another one." You know.
Exactly. I feel like too the cool thing about that, not to go off on a tangent, but just very briefly, that's cool that you said that, because like as much as we always say like, you know, Walmart or Best Buy is like killing the mom and pop, it really is. And the mom and pop stuff is the type of stuff that if you're a local in San Diego, you want to kind of support that shop because they're going to support you too. And like, as a podcast, you know, I want to say
you're not going to build a relationship with the customer service desk at Best Buy like you are like the owner of like some mom and pop shop. You know,
they wouldn't answer my. I literally was like, I just came in and bought a camera from you. And they like wouldn't talk to me. Like Geek Squad referred me to the Best Buy main desk. Yeah. The Best Buy main desk referred me to Geek Squad. They like did not want to address the problem. It was the most wild thing. But hey, shout out to any mom and pops out there. Keep it going. My mom actually, her sewing machine is from Reading, Pennsylvania. It's like on a table, and the table flips over, and there's a sewing machine underneath it. And she has the whole
older the better.
The older, I mean,
they're strong. They use like cast iron shit. Like sewing machines are way different back then. Like Singer sewing machines now are not very good.
Really?
No.
But Singers used to be great.
Singer, like if you have one that's like before 2000 or like the 90s, like that thing's probably awesome. Wow. And it'll run forever. Wow.
So I want to ask you, I mean, I guess the natural progression of the conversation in that sense would be,
I got a sewing machine and then taught myself how to sew, kind of.
Yeah. So, I mean, that must have gone from almost like a labor to a labor of love at one point.
It was like a weird, I don't know what people were thinking. I don't know what my friends were thinking, because they saw the shirts that I like the first like handful of shirts I were making, and it was like, dude, I literally just bought this sewing machine. Mm-hmm. And I remember buying the sewing machine, and because I had this idea in my head, like people liked it. Yeah. And I was like, I could maybe do something with this. I don't know yet. I haven't even tried at this point yet. Like my head kind of started moving too fast, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, what if this seems like a really cool idea, but I don't know if it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, then I'm kind of I'm back to square one, which really wouldn't have mattered. Like, what was I ruining? But that sewing machine sat on the dining room table for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow. Wait.
Before I opened it, because
Even
I was
without
just
you
like
dressing it.
Yeah, because I was like, I think I made like another one by hand or something, because I was like, dude, this isn't like, what if I don't know how to do it? Like this scene, I was like intimidated by like the idea of like, man, this is a cool idea. And I got almost bummed before I even tried that it wasn't going to work. And then I kind of realized like,
what am I tripping
it's not
on?
working now, not doing anything. So what are you doing? Like,
no, but
so
that's an
I also didn't know how to sew either. I also had no idea how to sew.
But self-motivation is a bit, I mean, I feel like that was you in a way, like dealing with like, oh, I got to motivate myself to pick up that sewing machine and learn how to do that. It was just such a foreign idea to me that I was like, dude, I'm about to use a sewing machine. Like, saying it out loud makes it, yeah, I know.
I'm used to like putting holes in pants and like making holes and like wearing clothes forever that look like shit, and I'm supposed to now think I can make something like that someone might want to wear.
I see where you're coming from.
But anyway, I started doing it, and like I had like some friends and roommates at the time, and like I was seriously like hitting people up like, hey, you want to buy a shirt? Like friends that I remember like hearing, thinking that it was sick, you know. And I was just like, oh, pay the bills, some extra beer money, you know, this, that, or the other. And like sure enough, people were buying them, and like they would fray out at the edges and stuff, and they just like wouldn't look that good, because obviously it took a long time for me to like figure out what I was doing. I had one friend, her name was Adrian. I knew she knew how to sew, and she came over and helped me out, just showed me how to thread it, gave me a quick 5-minute tutorial on like how to thread the machine, how to like do this, because my
Shout
grandma,
out to Adrian.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. My grandma taught me how to sew when I was like 6 or 7,
awesome.
Like way younger, and I hated it, obviously. Like,
of course,
6-year-old
dude
boy is not gonna want to learn how to sew.
It's
like,
a fact of
he
the
wants
matter.
to go outside and scrape his knees up, or
straight up
do anything else.
Anything.
So yeah, she just basically showed me how to thread it, showed me how to like stitch back, so like you tie off the end of the thread so it doesn't unravel, and then the rest I figured out on my own.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and just like would make them for friends and stuff, and then figured little things out here and there.
Yeah.
And made a little cardboard stencil to cut out the pockets, which I used forever. I had 2 since I started Pickpocket, just that I cut out of cardboard, and it was in the shape of a pocket like that I would cut that out of. And it like allowed for the seams to fold over, you know, that I would sew into. But there was a hole cut out in the middle so I could see what it was going to look like before I cut it out. And I used that cardboard one for like, I used 2 different cardboard ones for like 4 years before my neighbor at the Oceanside Market, who does like laser models and stuff, like with wood, he was nice enough to make me like some like legit ones that I wasn't gonna cut over and like mess up and just look ugly.
That's awesome. Awesome.
But it's been like a constant learning process of like learning how to sew. I'm still learning stuff. And
well, I feel like, I mean, so, you know, I guess the next natural question would be to go actually back to skating, and I feel like,
sorry, I keep getting ahead of myself.
Oh no, you're not. No,
supposed to go with this.
I know. I really enjoy hearing the history of Pickpocket, and I want to go back to it. I guess the natural thing that I would want to ask would be, you know, you as being not professional skater, but sponsored skater. I mean, basically at the very least, semi-professional.
Yeah, sure.
How has that basically helped your learning process within Pickpocket? Because obviously, like you said, time and time again, I can put my fingers in here and not rip out the pocket. It's a learning process. But you said you're always learning and you're always willing.
Yeah.
We were talking, I think one thing we want to go to a bit later is constructive criticism, being able to take it. But how has being a skater really helped in that process of Pickpocket?
I mean, the one thing about skateboarding that I feel like is taught to anybody who does it more than anything else is just perseverance, pretty much, you know.
Wow.
Like there's nothing like falling and getting back up a million times just to like get some stupid trick that you want to do on your useless wooden toy with wheels on it.
Wow.
You know, like
that's
what
crazy.
what is the average person going to gain from that? You know, like what am I going to gain by learning this new trick and putting my body through potential hell to do it? Like it's because I want to do it. it's nothing's going to happen unless you want to do it,
So true.
So it's just like when
Perseverance.
yeah, so it's just like I had the idea. I wanted to make cool pocket tees. I was okay with once I decided I was okay with fucking up, and that it like realizing that it was going to be a process. It wasn't going to be perfect right away. Then it got easier in a sense to like.
Not only probably easier to take constructive criticism too, in a way, because you're like,
yeah,
dude, I'm a sponge.
I mean, I'm also like much more critical of my own stuff than I feel like most other people are.
Critics.
Like there's obvious parts of it because it is all handmade by me, and it's all like one-off stuff. There are going to be slight imperfections, but personally, that's what I think makes it kind of cool. Is just like the little like maybe tiny stitch zag in like one of the stitches or something, But like for the most part, they look great.
That shows that you made. That's what I even as a customer. Yeah. That's like I dig that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I recently had an artist on too. On every painting he does a different kind of little tag off. So that. Yeah. I just it plays back into that point. And I think the other thing you were saying that was so interesting was a lot of people outside of skateboarding kind of perceive it as just physical toll, but it's a time thing too.
Well, yeah, like more than anything, it's depending on what you're skating. If you're skating a street spot, then there's obviously like the time aspect and the sense of urgency that you have to have just because you might get kicked out.
Security guards, light. I mean, if you have Jennies, that's fine, but
yeah. For all you guys that don't skate, Jennies are generators.
Generators.
For lights.
Yeah, lights.
To light up spots at night.
Yeah.
Yes.
I shouldn't have said
He knows. Hey, he knows.
I'm with the shit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like anything else. Like if you want something bad enough, you're going to go through the steps to get there, and like with skating, it's the same thing. And the time aspect is definitely part of it, but it's more like how much time your body will allow you to go, so it's like usually your brain wants to keep going much longer than your body does.
Yes.
And sometimes, like if you're battling something hard enough, like sometimes your brain outlasts your body, and at that point you're pretty much wasting time.
Yeah, it's an internal fight that you're not going to win.
Yeah. But regardless, it's that sense of urgency that makes anything happen. Like you got to want anything bad enough to make it happen, and then you're going to do whatever it takes to get that to happen, whether it be rolling your ankle over and over again trying to learn kickflips, or you're trying to learn how to sew a pocket on straight and not have it be crooked on the shirt, or not bunch up after you wash it. Like you go through a bunch of different things, learning how to deal with materials, learning how to deal with a crack in the road before the stair set. Like you can compare it to like any number of things, but like it's just like falling and getting back up again,
Yeah, I mean, dude, I totally agree with that. I think that's why, like, I don't know. I think skating is such a great. This sounds corny, but sometimes corny things or cliche things are corny and cliche.
I've
for
said
a reason.
Tons of corny things about skateboarding so far.
It's such an analogy of life, though. Like time and time again, you could fall, you could get knocked down, you could, like you said, like trip about the crack right before the set that you're about to fly down. But
yeah,
the ultimate thing is just to be like, fuck it and keep pushing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's awesome. So I guess also too, I would say like skating has definitely helped you, and I mean, skating has helped me in terms of like because I'm not a great skater. I could tray flip maybe years ago, and that was in my garage, and I was like stoked on landing like one or two in a row. But I think that's the type of stuff, like even with the podcast, like, all the bumps we go through, whether it's like a guest canceling, whether it's something not going the way we thought it was, it's like, just keep going, keep grinding, keep doing you. How has that helped you deal with the constructive criticism? Because I know the interesting thing is like when someone's going to tell you like, dude, you should do this with Pick Pocket, you should do that with Pick Pocket. There's part of you that's like, yo, this is my vision. Like, stand back a little bit. Let me do my thing. But there's also part of you that's going to be like, I might take a little bit of that idea.
Yeah,
so what's the balance?
It's funny because like a lot of things that people may suggest to me are things I'm already thinking about as well. Which is, I mean, obviously it's my baby, so it's pretty much like all I think about most of the time, you know? So like I'm always like thinking about other ways to do things, or like other ways to even look at things.
Absolutely.
You know, but in the end, like, my vision for Pickpocket is exactly like how it started for me, you know, like, and that's recycling old shirts that people have that they like. And my favorite thing to do is when people bring me their old stuff to make, you know. Ooh. So like, bring me your old Dale Earnhardt Jr. shirt, you know, that has like ketchup stains or whatever on it, or
and
like,
you're gonna find a way to make it artistic.
Yeah. Like, and I'll cut up a piece of that, like of the graphic, fold it into a pocket, or make a big ass patch and sew it onto a sweatshirt. So then you still have this thing that was an eyesore to wear before, but now you can wear it and it's sick, you know. That's at the end of the day, like, I want to do it for other people too. So I'm very interested in like the things that they would like to see my brand do.
But how do you, but it's weird. How do you meter that from your own vision?
Because for me, what I would really like to do is I want to keep that aspect of doing like the recycled stuff for people, and that is their input to what they want to do, because like they can tell me like, oh, I want to do this, like I want to have the patch look like this on the back, you know, like, because it's from their old shirt, and I'll make that idea kind of like come to life in like the piece I made. Like for example, this sweatshirt, I didn't even show you this one yet, but this sweatshirt was from an old Sketchy Tank tee. And I made this for my buddy who just started working for Sketchy Tank, and put it on a crew neck sweatshirt. But then the back graphic of it, I cut that out.
Jesus, that is so
and like made it into like a different design, moved some stuff around, and then like kind of double stitched some stuff on there, you know, and like, you know, so like that's what I want to do for other people, and like that's kind of like their way to like make stuff that they like sick and like send me their stuff. But then I also have like the kind of stuff that I make that isn't from old clothes or stuff, like it's stuff that's like my own vision, like
like what you're wearing almost,
or like other stuff, and that kind of stuff is like, that's kind of my artistic side of it.
Yeah, that's your
like
pathway.
that's the part that I really want to do the way I want. And obviously I love listening to people, and like I take a lot of that into consideration, you know, like because at the end of the day, I'm making stuff that I want people to buy.
Precisely.
And it's funny because I'm making stuff that I want people to buy, and it could, I'm worried how to say this, because it could make it sound like I'm just doing it for the money, but I'm not, because it's actually genuinely what I like.
Oh, dude, you're evidently passionate about this.
Yeah.
It's not.
But what I was going to say is that some of the stuff that I enjoy making and would really like to make is stuff that I would never wear myself.
This is the interest. I want to get more into this. Let's delve into that point.
Yeah.
So when you say that, what exactly for the viewers do you mean? I think you're talking about like you see stuff that like fashion runway models are wearing and stuff.
Anything like it's weird. Before I started doing any of this stuff, I never saw myself into sewing. Wasn't really into fashion either or anything. Like I was oddly into skate shoes, like because I went through them all the time, and like I wanted to know like which ones were going to last me the longest. So then like for a short period when I was younger, I thought it would be cool to be a shoe designer. Never ever did anything about that, because I had that idea when I was like 13, 14. I just thought they were cool. I really thought they were cool, and like loved skate shoes. And
interesting.
But anyway, like you look at like different streetwear brands and stuff, and like people like Bobby Hundreds and Virgil Abloh of Off-White, you know, like these people are like kingpins of the streetwear industry.
Killing the game.
And yeah, they're amazing, you know. But I mean, you look at the way I dress, it's like I'm wearing black, and like the loudest I get is my camo pants, you know.
Shout out to Walmart.
Yeah, $19. Only in Idaho, though, I think. They don't have these in California for some reason. Like the stuff I like making is stuff I would never wear, you know. Like I like stuff very, very basic looking, you know. But like,
I think
that stuff's not as fun to make. It's like some crazy shit with a lot of colors and stuff. Like, it's really fun, and I think it's visually appealing, and it's just for the right person. And that person isn't me, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. For example, like when you look at, say you go look at a runway fashion show or something, you know, like
none of that stuff anyone's wearing
ever, anywhere. No one's gonna wear. You see the craziest stuff that makes like
Mugatu.
Yeah, exactly. Mugatu. You see a 65 8-pound, 6-foot tall chick wearing a dress that makes her 8 feet wide. And like just random shit coming out of it, and they're like, "That is art. That is beautiful."
It is though. I mean, in a way, it's
the dude that made that ain't gonna wear that. You know. Same goes for the guys that are designing women's clothes. They're not gonna wear women's clothes, but they design totally them. You know,
it's totally
like,
true.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, I think that's what's so interesting, because I think that's where you are an artist. If maybe, you know, it's still like wild to like realize that you are, though, because if you're designing stuff like that you find like visually appealing, but like not necessarily stuff that you would wear, dude, what is that but art? I mean, appreciation.
I guess. I don't know.
Similar though. It's awesome. No, I say that in the highest regard. I mean, frankly, I think it's so cool. Like the growth from you sewing up something with a travel kit from Target to someone ripping it out to being where you're at now is pretty phenomenal. And you know what's funny is it's so evident that it's not forced. And with stuff like that, with especially with like fashion these days, like all like streetwear brands, some of them can feel very forced. And for whatever reason, whether it's you, whether it's your product, Pickpocket doesn't feel forced. And I mean that with all due respect.
Thank you.
So I have to ask, the name Pickpocket, did that come from just
it was, honestly, I have to give a bit of credit to an employee named Ken that I worked at Claremont Skate Park with.
Shout out to Ken.
We were like,
shout out to Ken.
It was funny. Like I was really stoked for a while, and it was on the first shirt I ever had printed, and the name was Pickpocket on it as well. But on the back it just had like a ski mask on it, and it said "So What" underneath it, and like SEW. I like that instead of like SOW. That's dope. And I really liked that name for a little bit, and then we were just like messing around coming up with Pickpocket, and I was just like, I said something along the lines of like something like thiefish oriented, you know? And then like someone said Pickpocket, I believe it was him or my boss Charlie, or it was kind of one of those group efforts that like it got to that name. And then we were just like, holy shit, I'm making pocket tees. It's called Pickpocket. Like it's supposed to be custom. Like,
that's so sick. That's I mean, have you done a lot of collaborative stuff? Or
I haven't. I've done some small collaborative projects just with like some of my homies that have little brands as well, like sick. Shriek and Shannon, one of the homies that I ride for Arbor Skateboards with and rode for Santa Cruz Skateboards with.
Speaking of which, the new part, Arbor, the new video, right?
Yeah, we just went on a trip through the Southwest, me, Shriek, and Shannon, and Jesse Arrowwood.
We'll talk about that in a sec. But on the collab stuff.
Yeah, the collab stuff. I did one with Shrieken's little company, Simple Times, like long time ago with Wes Kramer, someone who you know.
Yeah.
He got Skater of the Year, and then Shrieken had taken some photos of him and had him printed on some shirts, and then I cut up some of those, made pocket tees out of them.
Oh, that's super awesome.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's super awesome. I'm in the process of cleaning out the closet.
Yeah, give me some of that.
I might have to give you some material and pay some bucks to get some pocket tees up in the mix. I appreciate it so much. So I guess, dude.
But I do have a good one coming out.
Oh
soon. That I actually am gonna go pick up the samples for it today. Alfonso Rawl is one of my favorite skateboarders from the early 90s and mid 90s. He was killing it forever. Still skates fucking amazing, but he has his company called Everybody Skates, and he does a lot of like he'll take like photos of celebrities and then like Photoshop them into like onto skateboards, and like in skate positions they're sick.
So like he's like the skating version of Leibowitz, that Annie Leibovitz, the photographer.
Kind of
he's like
a little
skateboarding
bit.
version.
And so we got a collab coming out. Some of his classic graphics on pockets, and then as well as like one long sleeve pocket tee that we're doing with a big graphic on the back. Can't say too much about it right now, but
you heard it here first though, folks.
It's going to be really sick, and the only hint I can give is that just think about ears getting bitten off. That's like the only thing I can think of on the fly.
We'll leave it there.
But
I'm going to just say, Evander, shout out to you.
Okay, all right. So at least you understood like kind of the reference. But yeah, so doing that, and then I have my own stuff that's coming out. But yeah, obviously, like with what I do, like, yes, I'm a clothing company, but like it would be, and like it's more of an idea than anything, you know?
Dude, I know this is corny, but you're more of I know the way it is, that the way that it's said now is like lifestyle company. I know that sounds weird to say, but that's what.
Well, no, it's weird. It's I'm like finding my way as like a freelance guy to be like make graphics for almost companies that already exist.
Yeah.
Because like really what it comes from is like, and some people have asked me, they're like, how do you not get in trouble with copyrights and stuff like that? And it's like really like what I do is like I'm taking shirts that have already been purchased, and what I'm doing is really I'm just tailoring them for like the customer to how they like it.
Precisely.
You know? And like it's already been paid for, and like I'm not trying to take advantage of any of these companies, because like if you look at all my graphics, they're all very basic. It says Pick Pocket or has the little logo, you know? Like Sketchy Tank, for perfect example, like is an amazing artist.
Yeah.
Like, and I love all their graphics, you know? Like I want to make those shirts and those graphics last as long as possible. Like I love like
exactly.
I'm not trying to buy anybody's shit. Exactly. Like
that's awesome.
Some of the shirts that I get are like you wouldn't want to wear them. Like, you know, they're just they've been torn to shit, or they don't fit the person. But like
it's nostalgia.
They don't make that
though.
graphic. They don't make that graphic anymore. They don't like, or you lost your virginity in that flannel, you know, some sort of sentimental value, and I just want to make that last as long as I can for people, you know, like that's as corny genuine. As like
real recognize real dog,
you know, but that's like really where I'm at with it, and I like would love to do more collaborative stuff. Like hell, I've even thought like, dude, why? I know, because I have my own clothing company now, like dealing with like an excess of product sucks. Like, say you come out with like a new line, but not even too much. It's just like you get to the end of the line, and it's just like, oh, I have 5 medium shirts left, no larges, no extra larges, 1 small, and 2 XLs. How do they get rid of those shirts? Because a shop is not going to want to buy a size run of shirts if they can't get the larges and extra larges. So they're sitting in their warehouse forever.
Whoa.
People like those graphics, but the shops that are going to distribute them aren't going to want to pick them up. Like, I would love to just take all those off their hands, and then collaborations that I do are just all old product that they had in excess, and I can make something sick out of them that can go on whatever size they want, and they can be one-off, like, collaborative stuff like that.
That's what you're talking about right now. That's a bigger vision.
That's kind of like a bigger picture thing that I would like to do, because, like, with what I do, like, I really do see it as like a collaborative company where it's like, that's what I do. Like it's right now I'm recycling, but it does have the option to do the same kind of thing, but more in a collaborative effort.
Wow, man. That's pretty damn deep.
Yeah.
I think your balance between doing what your vision is and also kind of like having, whether it be a customer, client, friend, coworker, collaborator, come in between your vision and that, the growth is just there. I mean, you just need to keep doing what you're doing. There's no end to this.
Yeah, I hope so, man. It's definitely a grind. It's a grind.
It's a grind, but you know, this is what I found, and I wanted to ask you about this. About how our viewers can turn their passion into paychecks, whether it's a clothing company, whether it's skateboarding, whether it's comedy, whether it's their business, whether it's their craft. I mean, because it is a big thing, and I know you're still grinding. It's stepping off a cliff, straight up, because you don't have a 401k, you don't have dental, you don't have medical, you don't have insurance.
Not like many other jobs that they provide those.
Precisely, anyway, so precisely. But what would you recommend to anyone who's really like, let's say like someone's like sitting at home like, man, I could be a musician. I just got to take the leap. How could you tell someone to take the leap? I mean, other than just do it. I know that's a very open-ended question.
That's like, just decide if you want it bad enough. That's the only question you got to answer. And then like from then it's just like work and not being scared. Like you be ready to fail, be ready to welcome failure.
Really?
And just like,
I would say so too.
You know, like you just gotta, just like with anything else that you know is not going to be a smooth process to get through. Like you have to accept before you start that there's going to be hardships ahead, you know?
Absolutely.
If you think it's going to be some dandy project where it's just going to be like, I'm going to start a company and everything's going to go great, just how I want it.
Hell no.
Dude, you're defeating yourself before you even try. Like I said, like I was afraid to even open the sewing machine for like 1 or 2 weeks, you know? And that's what I went through. Like I'm not saying that it's not, you should feel that way. If you don't feel that way, then it's not right. Like you don't care.
Exact, dude.
You know? So like, and I'm sure you know doing this.
Sometimes,
you know,
sometimes if I get a big interview, I literally am afraid to
shut
like
down.
Look at it for a few weeks because I'm like, that really happened?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I might be scared to break this one down for a couple of days.
Dude,
No, it's so cool, and I totally appreciate you saying that because that's actually you're being honest in that, dude. The cool thing though about failing when you're starting your own thing is you're failing for yourself.
Yeah.
Rather than failing for some random boss, you know, some random company.
That's hard, man.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, failing for them. Like, shoot, I don't like letting anyone down. But like failing for myself, I'm fine because I don't take losses, I learn lessons. Shout out to Sir V Wood.
Also, like, I'm just the kind of person that like I have an interesting view on like the world sometimes. And like I don't always want to depend on other people, you know?
Yeah.
And especially, and that comes from like almost fairness of like, no one's going to help me out. No one's going to do it if I don't do it. Like I kind of just lost my train of thought.
No. I mean, but having to prop yourself up, like,
yeah, you just can't like
rely on.
No,
I hate to say it.
No, yeah, you can't rely on other people to do anything for you.
No, and that's not a dig or a dog on other people. That's just like if you're going to start your own company, or your own clothing line, your own company, your own visual production company, anything.
What I was going to say is
you have to be juiced on yourself.
Yeah, like it's just on me, and I don't want to put it on anybody else. One, because I don't know if they'll have the same passion that I do for it, and which is why I'm still doing this by myself, which gets really hard sometimes, and I wish I had some help, you know?
Straight
but like,
up.
it is hard to trust somebody else with your baby, and also but at the same time, I don't want to burden anybody.
Yeah,
you know, like this is my battle to fight. Like there's a lot of chances that I'm taking that I'm not trying to put on anybody else. You know, and like I don't want to do certain things until I'm fully ready or the company's fully ready.
I totally.
Like for example, like I've been riding for Arbor Skateboards for about 2 years now.
Yeah, we gotta show that.
And
we're gonna show that video up there while we're talking about it.
They told me like before I started riding for them, like. Or when we were talking about me riding for them, they were like, yeah, we could even do something with Pick Pocket in the future. It's been 2 years, and I still haven't hit them up about that.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not ready. I don't feel like I am ready enough to be in the position to do a collab with a company of that magnitude to where I'm ready for people to see it. I'm my biggest critic, and like, but once I'm definitely close to being there, you know, I really am, but it's just,
you want to do
I don't
it
want
right.
to jump the gun. Yeah, you got to do it right.
That's. I mean, that's kind of like where we were coming from. Like the first 4 episodes of the podcast are just me talking to a camera because I wanted to have proof of concept before I invited anyone else on. Yeah, and that's, dude. Those were like that's when we met.
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of that, I wanted to, in a time of so much negativity, whether it's like people talking about the negativity of social media, the negativity of this, that, and the third. Dude, how has social media been such a positive for you? Other than obviously basically grew our relationship via social media and ran this through social media. But I mean, I would say,
Quick side note, I met Mike from giving him a Lyft ride back to his house. 2 months ago.
Shout out to Lyft. And
that's my side hustle to make my shit come true.
Yeah.
it's not just me doing Pickpocket. It's me taking the money I earn from other stuff to make this dream come true, you know? So like I said, it's a grind. It's not easy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hard.
It ain't no joke.
Driving. I hope nobody from Lyft is watching this, but I don't like driving Lyft, you know? Like, I mean, I don't mind driving at all. And like, for the most part, people are super cool, but it's like, I would much rather be like doing other stuff, but I gotta pay the bills somehow, you know, and
gotta
like,
fund it.
Pickpocket doesn't quite do it 100% for me yet, and that's fine because I put money back into it. And
I like how you say yet, though. I like how you say yet.
Yeah,
you said yet.
Yeah,
See?
I said yet. I said yet.
Exactly. See, people who don't say yet.
Yeah.
You said yet. That's
said
good
yet.
because
Yet.
Yet means we have so much great stuff coming from Pickpocket in 2019. I want to give. This time, we've covered so much great stuff. I want to give you the time to, again, reiterate everyone with what's coming from you guys, where to find you guys, whether it's Instagram or whether it's your shop or your website. Please tell the folks out there.
Pickpocket Manufacturing, you got some old stuff. You want to get made into something new again? I got you. I also got tons of stuff on the website, pickpocketmfg.com. Got filming a semi full-length skate video right now that's going to have full parts from myself, Jesse Arrowwood, Guy Azalai, and a shared part from Clay Kreiner and CJ Titus.
For Pickpocket?
Yeah, for Pickpocket.
Dude, whoa.
Not sure where that's going to go yet. Couple different options right now, but we're kind of still figuring that out. That's coming out, collab with Everybody Skates and Alfonso Rawls. Just all constantly growing and just finding more shit to cut up and make pockets and patches out of.
Dude, that's awesome. And again, I just want to reiterate again, too, for everyone, how cool it is that you do your own vision, but you also have such an open mind for people who are coming in and saying, hey, this is my vision for this shirt via, like, this is what reminds me of, like you said, the first time you had sex, the first beer you drank, the first time you kicked it with the homies, or like anything. And you turn that into reality.
Yeah.
So if you have anything out there that you're torn up about throwing away, but you want to keep it in the right way, make it into a pocket tee. Tell my man.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
You like that?
Yeah.
Hey,
that was pretty good.
Dude, I had a great time talking to my man, Josh.
Yeah, man.
Dude, again, your podcast family, whenever you have anything coming out, please let us know. We'll be there.
For
we'll
sure.
cover it.
We'll do.
It's all love. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the ODDCAST, where we talk about turning passion to paychecks. We always do. And we meet great people like Josh who are turning their passion into paychecks. He didn't even know it was his passion. He had a travel sewing kit. And now look at him. So let's get it. Love you guys. Shout out to you and yours. Have a great day. Thank you very much for your time. Josh.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Let's get a little weird. Let's get a little odd. Those sounds you like to hear. We got it going on. It's the ODDCAST. It's the ODDCAST. It's the ODDCAST. It's the ODDCAST.